Welcome to Acton in Focus. I'm Vivian Kopsinger-Birchall, your host, and my special guests are from the Acton Police Department. We have a new clinical responder and the deputy chief, Chief Cogan. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
And Beth, what's your full name and what is your new position?
So I am Beth Van Emburgh, and I am the new clinical responder with the Acton Police Department.
Who is a clinical responder? What do you do and what does that role look like?
So the clinical responder role is a role that has been within the police department, I think since 2015 in different capacities. Prior to my coming on, there was a clinician who was shared within multiple local police departments. So we had someone who was 1 day a week within the department providing clinical support to the residents of Acton, pairing with the police department.
So when you say that the person used to work with other police departments, what kind of arrangement was that? Do you know?
So the clinician who was here before was shared within 9
Yes.
local towns, 9 police departments through Elliott Mental Health Services,
Okay.
and would provide similar services through multiple towns. So would spend 1 day a week or shared time with each of the towns providing supports.
So when you say support, what kind of support was that and how does it tie into what you're doing in your new role?
So the support with a clinician or a clinical responder is providing mental health support to residents in the town. And with the previous clinicians, they would provide, if they were on within that town on that day and a call came in that they needed some mental health support for one of the residents in town, they could go out and provide that support. If calls came in while they were not actually located in Acton, they were providing support to other towns, they could come in on that day and follow up with those residents, provide any support, referrals, connections to services following any incidents that happened.
And as in your new role, are you a trained police officer or are you independent of that role?
So I am not a police officer, no. My role is one where I pair with the police officers. So I am not a trained police officer. I am a clinical social worker by discipline. So I am bringing some clinical support to pair along with the police department. So we'll be providing any of those services alongside the police officers within the town of Acton.
And how much is this costing the town?
So this is actually free for the town.
Ooh.
This program, and Deputy Chief can speak a little bit to this, but this is actually a grant-funded position through the Department of Mental Health. So this is not costing the town a penny, which has been wonderful. And I'll let you speak to kind of this grant.
Yes, we were made aware recently that there was money available through DMH to apply, and we felt there was a need, an appropriate need, for the people in Acton to have a full-time staff person, a clinician that could respond with the police to help in many cases that we handle involving mental health or substance abuse.
And through your observation, have there been an increase or decrease in these cases? And if so, what kind of mental health services are needed?
Mm-hmm.
I think the number has been pretty consistent.
Okay.
It ebbs and flows a little bit, but for the most part, we have a large need for mental health response. Many calls that we receive, whether it's a domestic violence call or a fight between 2 individuals, is so oftentimes connected to some type of mental health problem. Maybe someone's experiencing, and so it's great to have a responder, a clinical responder that can deal with those types of problems and help those individuals that we respond to.
Awesome, because initially I was going to ask what the difference is between your work and emergency responders.
Yes.
I don't know whether you want to speak to that.
So my role is more mental health and substance abuse focused, whereas an emergency responder might be providing either medical care or safety and security care like the police officers do. Mm-hmm. That's separate from my role. I'm there to provide mental health, psychiatric, substance abuse support mm-hmm. to these residents that come in contact with the police officers, and hopefully divert any of those calls that come in from possibly an unnecessary arrest mm-hmm. or things like that, kind of getting to those underlying issues that may be coming up, causing some of these calls to the police department, and hopefully alleviating the police officers from having to return to this residence multiple times, where their hands are somewhat tied of not being able to provide that support that really is needed.
Right, and does your role extend to services in the school?
Of course.
So I'm assuming you'll be working hand in hand with the school resource officers.
Hopefully, very much so.
Okay.
Our plan is to kind of get my face out there as well and provide support to the schools, principals, teachers, all the mental health staff there as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd want to tell our viewers about your new role?
So I'm very excited about this role. I think it's a very necessary position. I think across the country there's a lot of need for this added mental health support, and I'm very lucky to come into a very progressive town and a police department that is open and wanting this added support to their department. And I've been very welcomed by all of the officers and the staff within the police department, and have already had people come and ask questions about certain things that they're not sure about or would like some guidance. So it's been such a wonderful and welcoming experience being brought in.
Right, and of course you have roots in Acton.
I do, yes. So it's out, yes. So I actually grew up in Acton, which is somewhat what drew me back to this, position within the town. When I saw this was posted, this job, it kind of opened my eyes and said, you know, it bring me back to my roots of starting kind of life in Acton, and brings me back full circle.
And Chief Cogan, how exciting is this position, and how will it ease your work as police officers?
It will greatly ease the work of our police officers because of the number of calls that we respond to each year that require a specialty response that police officers can't always provide. In the follow-ups, to make sure people, once they find a track they need to get back on, someone that can follow up with them to make sure that they're staying on track and getting the help that they need.
Yeah, as a resident of Acton, I'm very excited that we have a mental health responder, because I recognize that the need for mental health services is great. We have seen the need. I'm a member of the Acton Boxborough United Way, and mental health is one of the issues that we're trying to address, and so we're excited that hopefully we can figure out ways of working with you, even as ActonTV, to continue raising awareness about mental health, and also awareness about the services that you provide. So what is the best way to connect, for the community to connect with you?
So obviously, if someone is in an emergency situation, we recommend obviously you call the dispatch number and request immediate response. But people are more than welcome to reach out to me directly via email, or my direct line, 978-929-7515 is my direct number. I also have a cell phone that people are welcome to call, 978-844-3123, and then my email will be posted with this as well. And people are welcome to reach out to me with questions if they want to schedule a time for me to come out and maybe meet with them, and if they have a family member who might need some support, kind of do some proactive work and set things up. So please reach out.
Proactive work is always the best way.
Yes.
Jim Cogan, is there anything else you want to tell our viewers before we close this session?
I just want to thank you, Vivian, for giving us the opportunity to introduce Beth to the community, and just thank all of those that have helped us get to this point. The previous jail diversion coordinators we've had, the Concord's Elliott Mental Health Center, and our Mike Oraclio, who has kind of filled the shoes of a clinical responder until Beth arrived. So there's many people to thank, and just appreciate all the work that people do in order to help the citizens of Acton.
Well, thank you all, and everyone in the Acton PD, for the work you do to support our community. And to our viewers, reach out to the clinical responder and to the Acton PD to learn more about this information. Thank you for watching Acton in Focus. Till next time.